Around 1200 BCE, the Israelites had settled in the land of Canaan, but soon they faced a fierce and powerful enemy, the Philistines. The Philistines lived along the eastern coast of the Mediterranean. They were an ancient seafaring people who had long fought against the Egyptians. After suffering defeat in those wars, they moved north along the coast and then invaded the land of Israel, bringing conflict. The Philistines were not only brave warriors, but also skilled in the use of iron weapons. This gave them a great advantage in battle. Around 1050 BCE, the Israelites suffered a series of crushing defeats. Their sacred altar to God was destroyed, and even the Ark of the Covenant, which held the 10 Commandments, was taken. In despair, the people cried out, "We cannot go on like this. We need a king to lead us, to unite our people and defend our land." And so they chose their champion, Saul, a courageous warrior. He led Israel's armies with great strength and hope. Saul became the first king of Israel, marking the beginning of what history calls the era of the 3 kings. Under Saul's rule, Israel grew stronger. But Saul's personality was deeply flawed. He was proud, jealous, and easily angered. Although he worked hard to govern wisely, he could not tolerate anyone more gifted than himself. The scriptures say that Saul disobeyed God several times, and for that he lost God's favor. Then God chose another, a young shepherd from Bethlehem, handsome, strong, full of wisdom and courage. His name was David. God said to his prophet, "This is the one, he shall be the next king of Israel." Remember the name Bethlehem for later. Another world-renowned figure would be born there. David grew up tending sheep in the hills of Bethlehem. He also played the harp beautifully for King Saul. Whenever King Saul was troubled by dark moods or anger, David was called to the palace to play for him. Each time, Saul's heart grew calm again. Then, one day, war broke out once more with the Philistines. They sent forth their mightiest warrior, the giant Goliath. Over 2 meters tall, clad in bronze, he stood before the Israelite army, shouting insults for 40 days, yet no one dared to face him. David came to the battlefield to bring food to his brothers. When he saw Goliath mocking Israel, he stepped forward and said to Saul, "I will fight him." Saul was astonished. "You are only a boy," he said. But David replied, "I have fought lions and bears to protect my sheep. The Lord who delivered me then will deliver me now." Moved by his faith, Saul said, "Go, and may the Lord be with you." David refused the heavy armor and sword. He took only his shepherd's staff, a sling, and 5 smooth stones. When Goliath saw the boy approaching, he laughed. "Do you mock me, Israel, by sending a child?" he roared. But David answered calmly, "You come against me with sword and spear, but I come against you in the name of the Lord of hosts." He swung his sling with all his strength, and the stone struck Goliath square in the forehead. The giant staggered and fell face down upon the ground. David ran forward, seized Goliath's sword, and cut off his head. The Israelites cheered in triumph, and the Philistines fled in terror. From that day on, David's name was sung across the land. Saul has slain his thousands, but David his tens of thousands. Yet this song planted a seed of jealousy in Saul's heart. And from that moment, he began to see David as a threat. Saul's envy grew into hatred. He tried many times to kill David, forcing him to flee into the wilderness. But throughout his years of exile, David never lost faith in God. Eventually, Saul's army suffered a devastating defeat against the Philistines. Wounded and surrounded, Saul fell upon his own sword, thus ending the reign of Israel's first king. After Saul's death, David was anointed king of Judah in the south, while Saul's son ruled the north. After 7 years of conflict, David defeated his rivals and reunited the kingdom of Israel. He made Jerusalem his new capital and brought the Ark of the Covenant there, naming the city Jerusalem, the city of peace. Under King David's rule, Israel became powerful and prosperous, its territory stretching from Lebanon in the north to Egypt in the south. But even great kings are not without weakness. One evening, while walking on the roof of his palace, David saw a beautiful woman bathing. Her name was Bathsheba, the wife of Uriah, a loyal soldier in David's army. Overcome by desire, David summoned her to the palace and slept with her. When Bathsheba later discovered she was pregnant, David tried to cover his sin by recalling Uriah from the battlefield, hoping he would go home to his wife. But the honorable Uriah refused, saying, "How can I rest while my comrades are still fighting?" Seeing no other way, David ordered that Uriah be placed at the front of the fiercest battle. Uriah was killed. David then took Bathsheba as his wife, but his actions displeased the Lord. The prophet Nathan came to David and told him a parable. There were 2 men in a city, one rich and one poor. The rich man had many flocks, but the poor man had only one little lamb, which he loved like his own child. When a guest came, the rich man took the poor man's lamb and prepared it for his feast. David was furious. "That man deserves to die." Nathan turned to him and said, "You are that man. You have everything. Yet you took the wife of Uriah and caused his death. The Lord will bring judgment upon you." David bowed his head in shame and confessed, "I have sinned against the Lord." Because of his sin, the child born to Bathsheba died, but in time, God forgave David. Their next son was named Solomon, the wisest and most celebrated king in Israel's history. In the next chapter, we will hear the story of Solomon and the city of Jerusalem, a tale of wisdom, glory, and faith.